What's going on, everyone? My name is Cameron. Long time no see. I apologize for the huge hiatus. Life has kind of gotten in the way of me making YouTube videos. Had a lot of. I just don't feel like it's in my life, which has prevented me from uploading videos. No excuses other than just, like I said, not really not feeling like uploading anything. But I'm feeling it again. I'm in the creative mood, but we're going to change things up a little bit. As you can tell by my screen, let me blow this up a little bit. As you can tell by my screen, I have a project that I want to work on. I don't think that I'll be really doing the tutorials, at least not for the foreseeable future. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I will. But for the time being, I just really kind of want to build stuff and have you guys along for the ride, get your feedback on what I'm building, and get feedback on what you guys want to see me build, and we'll do it together. I plan on eventually streaming this stuff on Twitch. Probably won't do it here on YouTube, but that being said, that's in the cards. That's on the calendar somewhere. But yeah, let's get going. So let's talk about what I've got set up here, and then we'll talk about what the plan is, what we're gonna do. So as a form of practice, I went ahead and set this up. So I'm gonna kind of ls here. So I've got a simple setup here for this project. I've got obviously the README that needs more docs. Can never have too many docs. We have an API. This is a Go API. So something that I've really been tinkering with lately is trying to get out of my comfort zone. A lot of the stuff that I do day to day and really for the last 5 years has all been JavaScript or TypeScript based. And so I'm trying to branch out, trying to do different things. Just for the sake of fun. I've done a little bit of Ruby on Rails in my current day job. But I'm looking to do other stuff, and Go has piqued my interest. I've also been tinkering with Rust. Not that I would really be trying to do anything API based with that, just because I'm not sure what the support level is for it, but I know that there's several different tools that you can use for Go at least. So I wanted to try something out with that. And then obviously we have this CLI here, which this is a TypeScript based CLI. I plan on doing some stuff with this later on, potentially migrating this to Rust, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Docker Compose for really this is really just for setting up the Postgres database that I'm storing to-dos and such in, as well as that's really about it, honestly. And then I have a package JSON here just because I want to be able to use node commands to do certain things. Yeah. So that being said, let me go ahead and open this up. We can kind of look at it, and then we'll talk about what we're gonna do. So, because looking at it the other way, yeah, is probably a little hard to understand. So yeah, so we have this main Go API. I've got a health route for whenever this gets deployed. We have a way of checking to see, hey, is it up? I have some stuff commented out for cores. We'll look at that later. And then just a couple of basic controllers. I have authentication set up. There's probably some cleanup that we could do in here. There's a lot of stuff that could probably be moved into services. But for the most part, this works. We have login, registration set up, and then we have our to-do controllers, which right now we have like getting all to-dos, getting a single to-do, creating a to-do item, and completing a to-do item. And all of this is based around like the current user that's signed in. That said, I had this working without the authentication. and the CLI hasn't been updated. That's something, like I said, that's coming in the future. But for right now, what I want to do is I know that a lot of people followed my channel whenever I was doing like Electron and a little bit of Vue and Ionic tutorials way back in the day. What I want to do now is I want to go ahead and I want to create an actual application that we can use both on the web and on mobile. So I'm hoping that I will be able to port this over to having an actual mobile app, and we'll walk through all of that as well together in some videos. But I want to be able to port that over and have both a web app and a mobile app from the same code base. All the while tinkering with Vue.js. I did a whole bunch with Vue.js whenever I first started my career. I got to work with some of the Vue core team members, which was really cool. But I haven't done much with it in the last few years, especially since Vue 3 has been out. I've done a little bit, but not a whole lot. I would like to play around with the new composition API and TypeScript just to see how well that really works together, because really I haven't done much outside of like class-based Vue components with TypeScript. So let's kind of get the project set up. Kind of remove some of the boilerplate, and then we will we'll go from there. So I'm not going to use anything like Nuxt or anything like that. I don't think that there's a need for server-side rendering for this. We're not trying to be super performant. What I do want though is I do want to use Vite, which if you're not familiar with Vite, it's like an alternative to Webpack. So yeah, I want to use that. So let's go ahead and get that set up, and then we'll get going. Actually, this is not that. It's npm. Is it init? No, it's create. Yeah, and then I'm gonna say web. We're gonna go Vue and Vue TypeScript. There we go. Super easy. Now I can go ahead and change directory into web, and I'm going to use yarn to install. All right, now that that is finished, let's go ahead and fire this up. So I'm going to do just yarn dev. That's going to spin up the local dev server. I am going to create a new window here. We are going to go to localhost 3000, and voila, we now have a base Vue Vite. We have that running. So let's go ahead and come back. Now, like I said, something I want to do is I want to kind of get rid of this base boilerplate. So let's go ahead and, so this is something that I want to learn, or I want to play around with. So obviously we're going to want to keep laying setup. This is something new that came a little bit after Vue 3. It was a different syntax than what they shipped initially, and I believe it's much simpler to get like components to work, especially with TypeScript. So I do want to play around with that a little bit, or this is effectively what I want to play around with. So we're not going to need the hello world. I'm going to leave that component just for reference, but we're going to pull all of this out. I will go ahead and get rid of all of this. I'm going to leave the font family and all of this alone. I don't see any need in changing this unless we decide we want to do that in the future. We'll go ahead and change this to to-dos app so it doesn't look, so that updates. Yep, very cool. We want to clear out the logo just so that we have everything nice and clear and fresh. And there's nothing here. This is the base, just like any even just JS project. We're creating an app and passing in our base app component, and then of course mounting that to the app ID div. So this is pretty cool. This is something that took me a little while to understand, but basically, like, this is how you would define props that are coming in, and you can actually type them, which is really nice. So they're defining a message. If we looked back at how this was before, we have this message prop that they're passing in, and if I remove that, now it's throwing an error because that's actually a required prop. If we changed to that, I'm assuming, yeah. So now it's not required, which is really cool. It took me a little while to grasp how this works. I think when I first looked into this, the docs weren't quite there yet, but this is really cool. And then you have your ref, which this is effectively like having your local state. This ref is your way of saying that this is going to be a dynamic variable that you want to you're setting up like a watcher almost, because you're saying that this could change, and whenever it does, we want to update what's actually being displayed down here in the template. Yeah, I'm breaking a bunch of stuff down. Like I said, I want to play with this, so yeah, let's do that. Let's now that we've kind of gotten the I put the hello world component back, I want to get rid of you again, and all of you. I should have just command shifted. You, okay, that's fine, whatever. We'll set up prettier and stuff like that later. Yeah, so let's do that. There's no I don't type support for view imports in TS. This is all stuff that I will likely read off screen beforehand, but I am going to be changing some of this stuff up because this will obviously contain some docs about what the web is. This may end up turning into like app. I don't know if I want that to be. Yeah, I'm probably gonna change that into app, or client, probably client, just because this won't just house the web, right? This will house our mobile app also. But yeah, no, we can we're ripping all of this out. We have a blank canvas. Let's go ahead and I am going to, let's create a simple, I'm just gonna create a login.view. We'll probably, actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna create a pages directory. I'm gonna put login in. For right now, we'll just go ahead and we're just gonna like display one at a time, but we'll eventually set up some routing to where, you know, we can route between like the login, the register pages, as well as you know, the base application whenever we get to that. I have no snippets. Okay, that's fine. Script, setup, lang, TS. I probably don't have like the v3 snippets or whatever, which is unfortunate. I will have that before the next video, but yeah, so let's do this. I haven't decided. I haven't decided what I am going to use yet for styling. I don't know if I want to use Sass or if I want to use CSS modules, but actually, I say that I do know what I want to use. I'm going to give Uno a try, I think. If you're not familiar with Uno's CSS, I am not very either. I haven't played with it too much, but it is meant to work with Vite. It's supposed to be faster than Tailwind and Windy CSS, which Windy was meant to work with Vite, and Tailwind, obviously, if you don't know what Tailwind is, you likely haven't been in the web community for too long. Tailwind is awesome. It really kickstarted the whole atomic CSS trend. Yeah. So that being said, really cool. And this is supposed to be just a lot faster than either Tailwind or Windy. And it's plugin based, so if there's syntaxes that you like, they support Bootstrap, and then some others as well as Tailwind and CSS, Windy CSS. So I'll likely use Tailwind, but we'll see. We're not going to look into that today. Today I want to get let's get a couple of inputs created here. And I am going to be super rusty. So let's do const email equals ref. We're going to import ref. I don't like how that formatted. We're going to do that, and then we're going to do this, and we're going to do password. I wanted that, but okay. And then v model email, v model password. So now basically we should have two inputs, and those inputs should update v model and v password. We have that. Now let's go ahead and do login. As you can see, we are able to pull that in, which is super nice. That just automatically works. That is cool, and that is autofilling my email. Why are you autofilling? Go away, Google. I'm gonna have to start doing these in. I've just doxed myself. So now that I have fired up Safari, this is my third time trying this. I have attempted to give away my personal email because it is somehow stored in Chrome. I don't typically do that. But nonetheless, we can see we do have two inputs here. One which is an email form field, and then the other which is a password. And that should be, we could set up here in login, we could set up, I'll have to look into how to like actually watch that. Let's see if we do this. are we? Oh, I see. So it only does it the once. Yeah. So I'll have to look into how that. Oh, yeah. So it is changing at yt.com. No, it didn't change. So yeah, I'll have to look into how to actually do that, like on change. Let's see here. What am I doing? I can always just do this. Let's do, instead of trying to do something fancy like that, let's just do, I'm trying to do at change. We want to do log. Let's try that. Let's do const log equals. I'm gonna do that, and we'll just do console.log email. We'll do log email. Log email. And then here, let's do the same. And actually, I'm gonna change these to on input. Log password. This will be the same thing. Just we're logging the password, which we should never do. We should never do that with real info. Okay, yeah. So there we go. At yt.com. So we can see that like the data is actually binding now, right? So if I come to here, I can actually see like that's setting, right? So that's super cool. So this is really nice. Like we're actually able to define these functions, and whenever we define them, they actually do translate into our template very, very easily, which is super nice. The V model is working exactly how we want it to. So probably in our next video, we'll actually start trying to link these things. There's no cores really set up on our API right now, so we shouldn't have any issues with going ahead and firing some requests to our API and trying to log in, and then we'll start looking at like persisting our token for authentication and all of that stuff probably in the next video. But thanks for sticking around. I know this is these videos are really supposed to be more of us hanging out and building something together. Like I said, I plan on doing more stuff like this where I live stream it and we can interact in real time in the future. But leave your feedback below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. I don't, obviously thumbs down. You're never gonna see that information anymore anyway. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye. Also, I forgot to mention that if you are interested in checking out the code for this, forking the repo and doing with it whatever you want, this will all be available on my GitHub. So I'll leave a link to that down in the description below. Bye.